Welcome humans to something different. Episode 3, we'll be talking today about entrances inside the earth. In 1997, Holly Moyes, an archaeologist at the University of California, guided an expedition to a large cave system in Belize known as Actun Tunichil Muknal. She followed a strange complex of chambers 3 miles into the earth, and they discovered thousands of artifacts, including the skeleton remains of human sacrifices, obsidian tools, and ceramics. But what is very weird, very unusual, is that Holly and the team followed the case deeper and deeper into the cave, and apparently it appeared to have no end. So where will ultimately lead to? Well, a great answer is coming from looking at the description of the caves in the Popol Vuh, which is an ancient Mayan myth creation and has guided a lot to believe that this archaeologist had uncovered an opening to the ancient underworld known as Xibalba, a much feared way into the afterlife. So what is Xibalba? Xibalba is described as the court below the surface of the earth, associated with death and gods known as the Lords of Xibalba, basically their version of hell. And these lords of the underworld are basically reptilian humanoids. Some of them they had crocodile head, some of them they have iguana head. But could this be proven to be an evidence that habitable places below earth could potentially exist? And it's good that I did my research, because it is a theory, and the theory is called the hollow earth. And it's been around hundreds of years. Isaac Newton was a proponent for the hollow earth. The earth is not solid by a long shot. It is a lot of motion going down deep inside the earth. The idea that there could be large spaces inside the outside of the earth, even down as far as the cross-mantle boundary, that might be conducive to habitation, it is not impossible. Now, planetary scientists tell us that when a planet evolves, when it comes into being, it has to do in a such way that the center is hollow. NASA even drop a bomb on the moon so they can say something, they can talk about something about the inner structure. We have stories all over the world about ancient civilization and the hollow earth. Now, historians have been debating evidence, prove the existence of an underground civilization. And one answer is coming from Amazon jungle, 2,500 miles south of Belize. It is a tribe known as Makushi. They have lived here with very little contact with the outside world until the 18th centuries. And yet, their mythology is almost identical to beings who protect the hollow earth, described by the Mayans. According to the legends, they are descendants of the children of Sun, the creator of fire and disease, and the protector of the inner earth. Makushi said they are guarding the entrance of the inner earth, and they will take about a couple of weeks to get down there, and when will you meet the occupants, they will be 3 to 3.5 meters tall. And an interesting thing is that they talk about how, when they got down enough, they saw molten rock. And this is exactly what modern science tell us we should find underneath the earth. They described the apples the size of a human head, the grapes the size of a human fist. And that kind of details, that comes from a culture who didn't have any access to any radio, any TV, any internet, any library, any satellites, nothing. And I do believe this is why Graham Hancock's statement is so important. He said, there is more evidence that there was a high civilization that we lost track of, that we are a species with amnesia, and that we've forgotten a part of our history, a part of our story. According to the ancient Greeks, there were caverns under the surface which were entrances leading to the underworld. The Mesopotamian religion, there is a story of a man who, after traveling through the darkness of a tunnel in the mountain of Mashu, he entered a subterranean garden. In the Hindu mythology, there are stories about a subterranean civilization called Patala. Patala is often associated with the Naga, who are reptilian humanoids. And it describes the Nagas are considered the subterranean, half-human, half-serpent race. They lived in the city of Patala, which is said in the Vishu Purana to have 7 realms, which all of them are located one above the other. The entrances into the inner earth describe portals into the underworld, and the underworld is actually a plane between the spirit and the nature. It's the area of reality where the spirit becomes nature and nature turns back into spirit. In the Hebrew Bible, and this will be the last sentence for this episode, the Nephilim were the son of God who mixed with the daughters of Adam. They were also giants and they were considered the fallen ones. Michael Mott's research suggests that they might be retreated underground. So, could this be the giants described by the ancient text?